Your manager gives you an instruction on Tuesday. By Thursday, the project has missed its deadline, and in front of the team, your manager asks why you made that call. Everyone tells you to report it to HR, so you write 4 paragraphs about being undermined. HR asks for dates, witnesses, the policy involved, and the resolution you want. You have none. Your manager receives notice, prepares a cleaner version of events, and begins calling you difficult. Reporting the wrong conduct at the wrong moment through the wrong channel can leave your manager untouched while exposing you. A company cannot investigate the word toxic. It can investigate dates, instructions, witnesses, policy violations, and measurable harm. A manager can be arrogant, unfair, cowardly, and incompetent without violating a single employment law. Unfair treatment is not automatically discrimination. General bullying is not automatically unlawful harassment. For a hostile work environment claim under federal law, the conduct generally must be connected to a protected characteristic and severe or pervasive enough to alter the working environment. Petty slights and isolated incidents usually fall below that threshold, unless a single incident is extremely serious. None of that means waiting for illegality before acting. A policy violation can justify an internal complaint even when nothing unlawful occurred. But general unfairness may not carry the anti-retaliation protection attached to a legally protected right, and that protection is never practical immunity. The rule is this: report conduct, not character. Compare 2 complaints. The first says, "My boss is toxic, manipulative, and narcissistic." The second says that on 3 occasions, my manager gave one instruction in writing, later denied it, and used the resulting confusion in my evaluation with messages attached and witnesses named. That version gives the organization specific allegations it can investigate and creates a written record of exactly what was reported. Report when the harm of silence outweighs the risk of speaking. If a manager tells you to bypass a guard, conceal an injury, or work beside a live hazard, that does not belong in an HR email queue. Use the emergency, safety, or regulatory route, including OSHA. Report credible discrimination or harassment tied to race, color, religion, sex, including sexual harassment and pregnancy, national origin, age where covered, disability, or another status protected by applicable law. Identify what was said and why it links to that characteristic, not just that your manager dislikes you. Report wage and hour violations, off-the-clock work, concealed overtime, punishment for asserting a protected wage or leave right. Report fraud and compliance misconduct, being told to falsify records, mislead a regulator, or adjust financial figures. Do not assume that following a manager's instructions removes your professional or legal risk. Document and consider reporting potential retaliation. If your treatment changed measurably after you raised a discrimination concern, requested an accommodation, or refused an unlawful order, record the before and the after. The timeline matters, but timing alone does not prove retaliation. Report repeated policy breaches, manipulated evaluations, retaliatory schedules, withheld information. When employees raise concerns together about working conditions, U.S. labor law may protect that activity even without a union. The protection has limits, but a group concern is harder to dismiss as one personality. Now the harder half. Pause when the complaint is built from labels, assumptions about motive, or anger sharp enough to bury the real issue inside unrelated accusations, or when it rests on one unpleasant but non-serious incident rather than a pattern. Do not delay over violence, threats, serious harassment, or immediate safety danger. Without a clear description of what happened, you may not have a strong formal complaint yet unless the conduct requires immediate reporting. If the accused manager controls or influences the reporting channel, find a more independent route before filing. If you cannot identify the outcome you want, decide whether you are seeking an investigation, a corrected record, reassignment, or protection. Temporary silence is preparation, and preparation has a task list. Build a factual chronology with dates and names. Preserve lawful copies of communications you are entitled to hold, not confidential files you take. Read the policy language. Keep meeting your performance expectations, because the fastest way to lose a strong complaint is to hand your manager a real one. Consider employee relations, an ethics hotline, a compliance office, or an employment lawyer. Do not warn your manager through an emotional confrontation, and do not record anyone without checking state law and policy. EEOC charges generally must be filed within 180 days, extended to 300 in some jurisdictions, and other complaints carry shorter windows. Stay silent long enough to become precise, not long enough for the evidence to disappear or the deadline to expire. Before sending, answer 5 questions. What exactly happened, with dates? What policy, right, or instruction may have been violated? What evidence or witnesses support it? What measurable harm resulted? What action you are asking for? Do not score the answers. One urgent fact can justify immediate reporting. They expose what you know and what is missing. The report has a shape, a short factual opening, dates and incidents. Exact instructions were documented with messages or work records attached. Witnesses with direct knowledge. The policy, right, or business risk involved. The effect on you or the organization. The remedy you are requesting, and, where appropriate, protection against retaliation. Stay calm and factual. Do not diagnose your manager. Copy the whole department. Claim more than you can support. Threaten litigation in the opening line, or post accusations publicly. Do not assume the report stays confidential. Employee Relations investigates conduct, policy, and risk. It does not certify character. A strong opening reads like this. I am reporting a repeated pattern of contradictory instructions being used in my performance evaluation. I have listed the incidents, attached the written directions, and identified the witnesses. I am requesting a review of the evaluation and confirmation of the reporting process going forward. Sending it is not the end. Keep a lawful copy and any acknowledgement and follow up in writing. Keep performing. Log material changes in workload, access, schedule, scrutiny, or feedback, staying honest about the difference between retaliation and an ordinary decision you dislike. Legal protection against retaliation is not a force field. It creates a potential claim when retaliation occurs. It does not guarantee that your employer behaves correctly. Rules vary by state, and this is general information rather than personal legal advice. Do not report because your manager deserves consequences. Report because the conduct is serious, specific, and supported strongly enough for the organization or an outside authority to act. Do not stay silent because you are afraid. Pause only when brief preparation will produce a stronger report without endangering anyone, losing evidence, or missing a deadline. The question is not whether your boss deserves to be reported. The question is whether your report is strong enough to survive what happens after you send it. And if you are dealing with a boss like this right now, do not wait until their version of events becomes the official record. The Toxic Boss Survival System shows you how to document what is happening, protect your reputation, respond strategically, and build an exit plan without destroying your career. The link is in the description. Get your copy before your boss makes the next move.